Hey, if you click the video, thanks. This was a B Open race I ran earlier today, July 4th. I was actually planning to record the race and talk over it normally, like a normal human does YouTube videos, but decided not to. And I think that's actually fine, and I'm kind of interested in doing this for now because I probably said less than 30 words the entire race. I really just try to focus and pay attention to what's going on around me, which I really needed to be able to do this race because it didn't go great. Uh, Not necessarily for myself, but just as a whole. So there's going to be a lot of skipping ahead, and that's fine. It is what it is. Not all of the races have been like this. This week, I just kind of got a bad group, I guess, or probably it's usually down to one person, two for the most part. I hadn't reviewed the race since it happened earlier, so it'll be kind of a first look back. I kind of just got out of there as soon as possible earlier. But yeah, so be open. And I tightened up the set that I was using today. I didn't feel super comfortable on a looser set here with the dirty air, and especially out of the corners with the bumps and all of that good stuff. I really wasn't up for counter steering my butt off for 90 laps, or, well, it really wasn't 90 laps because of how many cautions there were, but regardless, I just went with the tighter set. It only ended up mattering slightly because we only got 2 green flag runs, but whatever. Yeah, I did not qualify either because I hopped into this race with about 5 minutes remaining to register, and I didn't actually practice or warm up today. I did a couple laps earlier in the week, and those were okay. I felt all right. I like the track. I like all the mile and a halves. Um, that's going to be really annoying if it's going to automatically switch. So if I can change that, we might just go cockpit only and change it. I feel like it. I don't know how that's going to go. I'd rather just stay in cockpit and have control over the cameras than not have control, but I guess we'll see what happens here. Can I switch? Let's stay if I do. Okay, I guess I can just do that. Oh, well, yeah, that's good enough. Anyways, so yeah, I didn't qualify. Started in P20, I believe. Yep. Wasn't really interested in pushing it or trying very hard. Really just wanted to try to focus. I need a lot of my attention to make sure I'm ahead and aware of what's going on around me. But I do really like Chicagoland. This was a decent SOF. There were some certainly really fast guys up front, and I think up front was mostly fine. It was the mid-pack where it seemed like a lot of the trouble was, so I wasn't interested in being in the middle. I was okay if I somehow got to the front. I knew those guys were probably going to be all right, and I wouldn't really be pressing them very hard or get myself in a bad spot anyways. But yeah, I kind of eased out of it early on here. I did need to feel the car out a little bit. I tried the bottom a couple times, and it did feel good down there, but it was just ungodly slow. So I really only gave it a go for a couple laps just to save that much of tire, and then I kind of tried to stay up top and keep things wound up and keep the runs going. That's something I wasn't really comfortable with for a really long time in this car and some of the other higher horsepower stock cars. Even kind of the Gen 4, I would say, to a degree. I really just tended to stay on the bottom no matter what, at all costs. And you really can't make passes in this series by just wrapping the bottom. You just will never have the run out of the corner until the very end of the race if you're lucky to get that much of a green flag run, which a lot of these races do get that far. But either way, I've been challenging myself to push it a little more and go for passes, run the top, not feel scared of the wall, all that stuff. a lot of it's getting comfortable with people on your inside as well. Understandably, it's hard to trust people, but the only way you learn is by doing it. So I felt decently comfortable that I'd be able to start passing some of these guys, you know, fairly soon. But I did want to just kind of save that much tire for a little bit longer and still feel the car out as the tires wore in a bit. It's funny, I never really thought of Chicagoland as so bumpy in the past, mostly because I've only really run this track in Gen 4 and the 87s. And again, a lot of that was spent quite a few months ago when I was still a lot more green, and was mostly just sticking it to the bottom, keeping it comfortable down there and not really pushing myself a whole lot. I actually didn't look earlier before the race or at any point or whatever at the track temp that we had for the race. But yeah, okay, so 106. That's nothing really too crazy. Enough to make it matter if you slid the tires, but yeah, so around lap 10, I'm feeling pretty comfortable. We're gonna go ahead and just beat voice now. Get out of the way. And you won't know it, but they started going back and forth pretty good once the cautions started flying. Now, I wasn't sure if technically the third lane was superior or not, but it seemed like the middle groove was quite good, or I felt pretty comfortable there. That seam in the middle of the track I quite liked. I didn't really have an issue with what the 12 did there. It was kind of fair enough at that point, but I knew I was faster than him, and just a little irritating getting sent to the bottom when I know that it's going to be really tricky to get it done up there, but I think he lets me go. So I appreciate that if so, or maybe he was just that slow. Not really sure. Yeah, I don't know if going with a much tighter set killed my exits. It seemed like it a little bit. The car felt great on entry through center, but I wasn't really keen on having to counter steer on exit the entire race. I wasn't really, hadn't really practiced it enough, or frankly, I wasn't really energetic enough to deal with that. So I just decided to tighten it up on exit a little bit, drop the left front tire pressure a little bit to snug it up. But yeah, I was okay at this point in the race. I felt pretty happy with how things were going. This second group I was a part of, it seemed like was pretty clearly starting to separate out, and I was pretty sure I could get by these two guys with some time, and then kind of work my way up to that front group, and then you would start to see that front group separate out based on who was overdriving and losing the tires faster. Appreciate the 16 there for giving me that room, giving me that lane. A lot of people don't give you that much respect, so I did really appreciate that. Makes it fun when people do give you an ounce of respect, so that you can have some clean racing and people don't just throw it right back in on you the next turn, even though you've passed them clean and you've clearly got the pace. Kind of one of those bigger picture things that a lot of people refuse to get with the program on. Same kind of deal here with the 28. Clearly gives me a lane here, which again I appreciate. He's on his strategy, saving. um, which is fine. And I just wish you had more of that across the service in general, but you know, either way. Yeah, I started to see some guys really ripping up by the top. Um, I wasn't brave enough to commit to doing it every lap. I think I get up there more so by accident than anything a couple times. I guess we get back to the bottom here. I'm really trying hard to not focus on the delta between the front pack here and try to catch up or anything like that. I kind of just wanted to run my own race. I get into a habit of doing that, and then I'll look behind me and see them catching back up. And then I start overdriving again. But, you know, I just think it's... I'm not great at finding the middle ground where you pull away and are still saving your tire. I think it's a hard ground to find. But I think I get better at it as the run goes on. It's just, I'm not really looking to battle anybody at this point. I'm perfectly content at this point as well. I think being in... Well, it's not going to tell me without a black box, I guess, but pretty sure we're in P18 right now. I can remember correctly. We're certainly mid-pack. And I'm fine with being here. I didn't qualify. Always happy to let the people who want to go up immediately go. Doesn't benefit me at all. So 16 gets back to me. Guess I'm underdriving quite a bit on the entry. But yeah, there's really nothing you can do down low unless you're willing to pull a slide job. And some people are willing to do that, that's for sure. This is a really fun track, though, with this car. True stock car. The bumps have so much character. It's not really, you know, you go to a place maybe like Kansas. I know Vegas has a bump down low as well, which is unique, but for the most part, some of those other mile-and-a-halfs are very straightforward on how you can approach them. I believe we're under caution here, yeah. Now, I actually didn't see what happened here. I don't even know. I don't recall even seeing anything in my rear view. But it looks to me like a wreck for... Oh, actually, it happened right behind me. We've got the 26 and the 12. It's going to get all screwy because of the... Okay, so this person here. Just curious. I had no clue what happened during the race. Didn't watch it back. Yeah, 26 gets tight on exit and doesn't get out of the gas at all. Something you sometimes just have to do. I mean, I don't really get the point in simply saying, well, I'm going to drive through it. That seemed really unnecessary, especially at that point in the race. Seemed like he probably had overdriven, lost his tires, and decided he wanted to caution, I'm going to assume. I'm going to skip this. I took tires here. Yeah, I took tires. 20 laps on the tires. Couldn't tell you what they are at this point. But I don't think I felt like I was overdriving. I felt pretty okay. lot of focus on not oversteering, keeping the right front happy with how much I've tightened the setup. So that was more of the focal point with my driving style today, was to keep the right front happy after I tightened the setup. But it still felt like it rolled really well, entry and center corner. And just waiting a hair on full throttle on exit, even 80 to 90%, goes a long way to not totally overheating the right front, which then wears it out really fast. So catch back here to green. I'm just going to be honest, this is one of 7 cautions that will continue to happen here. I think the longest run in this stretch was, what, 4, maybe 5 laps? Now, we are maybe 4 or 5 laps short of fuel at this point, so still plenty of race left. I didn't want to necessarily drop all the way back. Was kind of like, well, we can race, you know, let's see what happens. Because a lot of people did stay out, what with it not being a fuel stop, or a good on fuel stop. But getting stuck on the bottom here, it's really nothing you can do. Thankfully, I was able to slot in and get up top. I just felt comfortable up there at this point. I felt like I could actually save the right front more up there, especially on the exit. But a lot of this race was just paying attention to what was happening ahead of me, and at this point, being sort of mid-pack with the same suspects from the first caution, there's just a lot of contact and close calls and moments that are making me check up and get out of the throttle. So I actually think I slide all the way back. There's a couple people behind me, but I've kind of let a lot of these guys go, and yeah, so caution. This was interesting to me live, that it kind of just fell really fast. Okay, yeah, I mean, he's sideways. I'm surprised that that was a caution. Honestly, I mean, just interesting. It came out immediately as he's 90 degrees on track. Usually, especially if you're kind of at the back of the field, I could easily have not been a caution. So, caution number 2. We're going to look at my laps here. I mean, we're on lap 27. Caution. We get 3 laps, caution. We get a lap, caution, a lap, caution. We get a whopping 5 laps, another caution. And then we get another 10, 11 laps and a caution. I don't really think we're going to sit here and just watch all of that. I'm even going to skip the 5-lap run we got. We're going to go to 55. I'm just not interested in watching restarts. I believe at this point I have stayed out on tires because all the cautions, of course. Some other folks had come in and taken tires, which I was a little apprehensive if I wanted to just drive through or not. A lot of those guys were at the front, you know, top 5 the entire race, and I knew they were simply going to be really aggressive here to get the track position back. It's always what happens. I decided to just stay where I was, but just be ready for anything and get a lot of the guys by me that I knew were faster, as fast as possible. Make it as painless as possible. Skip ahead. Yeah, I think we're right outside the top 10 right now, or somewhere right about there. 14 maybe. A lot of people were leaving gaps and taking the runs from the gaps. I was not trying to do that. I just wanted to be aware of any kind of stack up. I got a really bad start here through the gears. But either way, it actually kind of just helped get those guys by me faster. I wasn't planning to race here at this point anyways because I didn't think they were done wrecking. I didn't quite love where I was here, so not even full throttle down the backstretch, just maintaining position here. But yeah, I mean, number 1 car, number 2 car, 3 car, all those guys are just on new tires as well as being really fast, so I wasn't interested in partaking. I just wanted my outside line. I felt comfortable up there. And watching this back, I think I could have been a little more precise with my throttle input. But I really just didn't want to lose the tires, even if it meant I was slow. I'd rather have the opportunity to potentially claw back some positions. But yeah, I mean, me forcing the issue would have me maybe squarely behind the 3 wide situations coming off of turn 4 there. It's just nothing I really wanted to be a part of. Good TV for a minute just to kind of see what's going on. We're in the very back. My tires are... I think we've got around 20 green flag laps total, but a lot of those were broken up and single lap restarts, so even probably closer to 15 at full speed. But yeah, again, I'm still fine with where I am. I mean, if the race finished here, then whatever. Coming off the back of, at this point, 6 cautions, I was just happy to have no incidents and still be racing, so. Yeah, it just didn't look like something I really wanted to be part of up there at any point. We've got contact from the center of the corner to the middle of the backstretch. Nobody's happy at this point. There's been so many cautions. Everyone's probably irritated with a strategy decision or something going on. I think one mistake I was making was not utilizing the track well enough. Especially with how wide it is. So again, we're, right at that 10 lap point where I'm starting to catch people. I've not changed my pace. I'm really trying to do the same thing. But I mean, you can just see the fall off, how fast people were heating up their tires, that they were coming back to me that easily. And a lot of them are single filed out too. It's not necessarily like they're stacked 3 in front of me. It just shows you what saving tires can do, but the reality is I didn't get to play that game. I think I really drove it in pretty deep that lap, actually. Appreciate the 22 for not closing the door at the last second there. That would have been a very iRacing thing to do, but I can appreciate somebody seeing the bigger picture and recognizing it's not worth it for 20th or whatever we're in. What I had learned by the end of the race was it was mostly important to simply keep it wound up as much as possible. I don't know that I could do it to the same degree as those running looser sets. That kind of forgot about this. I'm gonna watch this back and I'm gonna decide what I could have done differently to avoid the contact. I mean, he drifted up in front of me out of 4, which was totally... Actually, we'll just go all the way back to that and watch it. So, there's nothing wrong with what he really did here, I think. I mean, he's got plenty of gap to me, and that's his space. I just decided to take the run to the bottom here and get to his inside. My entry angle is obviously a little compromised, and I'm drifting up the track, so that's on me. I got out of it enough that we didn't continue to stick together and him drive me into the wall. No harm, no foul. Sorry to him for that contact, but they do wreck in front. I kind of want to watch this back again. That's the 25, which is his second time being spun around. Let's see. Six has an insane run. Let's go with the 6. That's wildly unnecessary in my opinion. I think the 6 even had the outside lane. It's more unnecessary contact. I mean, I don't... Seems really stupid to me. I mean, this is a number 6 car and up north of a 3500 SOF, so, just a 4800 or 5K guy, I'm assuming. I mean, you have the line that you want. I don't... I don't see the point. Let's just go back a little further, maybe. But there's actually contact ahead on entry. 26 saves it. Wow, he's in a full drift through the corner, actually. He almost kills the guy. They save it. I mean, this is fine now. This guy's going to lose positions. But even he's staying a full car length off the wall. I understand that the 25 comes up. It's only because the 26 ahead of him is so slow. But he still backs out of it. I mean, this looks like he's backing out. He leaves the lane. And the 6 actually squares up with him and just drives through him. So I don't really see the point. The 11 has a nice dodge, and I don't know what that was. Just kind of caution brain where you aren't paying attention once the yellow flies. So once again, we're under caution for the 7th time with about 20 laps to go at this point. Just really unnecessary. We come take our final set of tires. And I think we come out of pits around the middle of the pack. A couple guys stayed out that didn't have any tires left, so P1 and 2 are on old tires. At this point, they are about 35 or so laps old. Definitely used, especially racing for the lead. So I was pretty sure we were going to wreck again right away. Either these guys were going to wheel spin or just get driven through for not being on pace, which some people would say they should just drive through and go to the back, but either way, I don't really feel necessarily that they should do that just by design, unless they had damage, but I don't think they did, so I don't have an issue with that. But yeah, so lap 70, we've got 20 to go. We're kind of in the same place we've been all race, more or less, between P15 and 20. I'm pretty sure I get sent. Yeah, so this is the guy who just caused a wreck. Thought I let him go, but I guess I don't let him go beneath me. I really just dislike these whole situations here where we can't go a corner without people going for the lead from the middle of the pack. So I'm pretty sure there's a 3 wide call in here in sub point. I'm not interested in going to the apron for the 21. Car is really loose down here as well. Everyone's loose. There's wrecking. There's actually no caution. I think that car blinked out. That one probably should have been a caution, but I think that it wasn't. Because it wasn't, it actually saved the race from going into even more of a shit show, despite the best efforts of everyone up here in front of me. Yeah, something I kind of felt, and I don't know if it's correct or not, but it just felt like it was really helping, was keeping about 10% throttle through the center of the corner. Really helped keep it wound up and helped my drive off. It also helped the aero loose condition a bit, just by naturally loading the right front. At least that's what it felt like to me. A bit deliberate, just kind of get the 11 by me. Didn't want to be side by side here, and I could tell he was really overdriving it. There were 15 laps left at this point. I don't get anything by overdriving up top and protecting. It just slows us both down. I was pretty sure some other folks were going to come back to us anyways. I felt kind of in between decisions here, whether I should kind of be going all out or not. With 20 laps, I mean, it's right on the cusp, but I'm really not great at recovering the car if I lose the tires or driving them when the tires are gone, and I wanted to let's see what I could kind of pick off naturally here versus over pushing. My decision was a bit forced, I think, just because everyone had migrated up top at this point as well. So no more freebies for the most part. This had me check up, and just unnecessary contact. I appreciate the 27 not having a meltdown and still giving me a lane there. Again, it's something that most people may just shut the door on you there and pass the buck on, but yeah, that was appreciated. '26 fully yawed. Just, I'm not sure if he's trying to wreck the guy right ahead of him for some contact earlier. He seemed like he was intent on overdriving the corner as much as possible every time. Really good move by the 23 there to get to his outside on entry. I'm surprised he wasn't wrecked for that. Can't see the number on the car, but the orange car gets a door for simply daring to try to pass somebody. I knew I had my hands full with this at this point. Seemed like everyone who got to him was getting a little more aggression. I'm gonna spoiler alert, and I wasn't able to pass this guy. I was very frustrated actually with how he was driving at this point. I mean, I'll just kind of let it speak for itself, but I was more concerned with not letting him kill me, really, than passing him at all costs. Just so we can all see what I'm talking about. We'll sit here for the rest of the race. So I have to get completely out of it here to not wreck the both of us. I could have driven that corner harder and probably stayed clear. That was my one chance, I think, to actually stay ahead of him, but at this point it just turns into a swap fest. And he was not going to let me get past him. And I don't really have an issue that he'll drive defensively, but he was mirror driving. It was pretty obvious. I mean, he has clearly completely lost the car. I understand he's probably frustrated because some contact was dealt to him earlier, but just it's really unacceptable to me that you can get on the service and have a complete mental breakdown like a lot of people do, where it will affect people who had nothing to do with whatever you're upset about. Now, I'm kind of overdriving here. I'm really just locked in on this battle with him. So it's becoming my problem that I'm getting frustrated now, which is something I could do better at. But, I mean, again, I kind of just have to really cut him a break there, or I ruin everyone else's race by driving through him. I've certainly overheated my right front now, and I don't really have much left in me, and I'm kind of just over it. I'd really just like to get it home at this point as well. But, you know, the reality is people won't change, and they'll do whatever they can for the position. I think looking back, there were actually tons of good opportunities I had to make the pass there, but I got a little scared off just by how he was driving me, and I think this in particular, what I should have done here was I should have just shut the door on him, to be completely honest. And I get loose here. That sucks. I still could have held on to the top, and I mean, hey, maybe he just wrecks me if I do that, but I think it's probably likely that he'll just take the inside and try to slide up, but I think I would have been able to hold on to it there. And I've completely lost the tires at this point. We're coming around to the white flag. I just have nothing left. We nearly lose out another position just from how absurd of a slow, pathetic battle we've had. But I think I'm able to eke him out just by the nose. So that left us in P14. And can pull the results. Just for anyone who cares, but yeah, we lose 1 I rating. I was really just happy that we had 0 incidents. The gentleman in front of me who I was battling with had a 10x. The other gentleman who caused quite a few people to have their races ended or ruined, or just a general stupid caution, had a 16x. Yeah, so I mean, it was just a few bad apples that really turned the race on its head. We had 7 cautions between laps 20 and 66 or 67. So it wasn't really an exciting or fun race. Can't really say I necessarily got to learn a whole lot with any long run, but there were some fun moments, and some of the guys in there were good to race around and kind of enjoyed. It just wasn't really much, but either way, thanks for hanging out.